Thank you so much for pressing play on today's practice. In this class, we're going to explore doing things on our back to help prepare us for standing poses. How often do we think about standing poses in yoga as preparing us for things that we do seated or things that we do lying down? But there's a lot you can harvest while lying on your back and moving your body that will help to inform some of the more challenging standing poses. And today we'll explore that. So put on your cap of curiosity and you can begin lying all the way down on your back. Bring your hands down onto your belly, right or left, doesn't matter. And then begin to breathe expansively into the abdomen. And when I first learned belly breath, it was so difficult because I had spent my teens and my early 20s sucking in my belly as I walked around to give it that appearance as if I didn't have one at all. And part of that was because I felt like my value in the world was directly tied to my belly, to the presence or absence of it. So how freeing to be able to breathe way down and expand it, like puff it out. Make it big on purpose. And then as you relax it, letting it soften. Then move hands from belly to chest somewhere. So we connect into the energetic heart center. This space where acceptance, compassion, and generosity resides. And breathe up there. Expand that space, expand those qualities. Begin to layer in your ujjayi. So now you've got some sound to meditate upon. Now that you've cultivated that ujjayi pranayama or that breathing practice to carry you through, open your eyes, release the hand away from heart, bring right knee into you. And while your right knee's into you, practice like curling your toes, almost like making a fist with your toes, and then stretching the toes long. So think of it as if you might be making a fist with your hand and then uncurling your fingers, but you're doing that with your feet, or your right foot anyway. Then allow the toes to be long, like unfurled, and point flex the ankle. So when you flex the ankle or you dorsiflex, that's the toes pulling towards the front of your shin. When you point, you can let the toes reach away. So either pointing or flexing, you've still got a long toe position. And then relax that effort in ankle. Interlace hands behind the back of your right thigh. And as you inhale, send your leg up. So you unfold the knee joint. And then as you exhale, let your heel drop towards your butt. So we're getting real passive. So inhale, actively engage the quad as you straighten the leg. And then exhale, just let the lower leg fall. Do that a couple times. So rather than controlling both directions, you control the up, but you let gravity do the down. And one more. Then take your left hand and reach over to the outside of your right knee. Like hook your fingers into your knee pit and take right arm off to the side and then pull yourself into a cross-body twist. So the hand that's grabbing the leg, it pulls the leg down and away. Like you could lengthen your whole outer hip just by tugging on that knee pit. And then work to really straighten the bottom leg and push through that bottom heel. And bring the head back to center. Roll the lower body back to center. Go back to hugging your right knee in. Bend your left knee so that foot is grounded. And then release your arms by your sides. Lift your right shin so it's parallel to the floor, and then create active external rotation. What that feels like is you're pulling your right heel towards your left shoulder, so you're opening the hip out to the side or the knee out to the side. Now connect ankle bone to thigh bone. Press with your hand against your inner right leg. Press the thigh away from you. Make some space down in that right hip. And then see if you can do this with minimal recoil. So really start to push your right ankle against your thigh. Reach the outside of your right knee towards the front edge of your yoga mat, down by your feet. And then let your hand go and see if you can keep that thigh really strongly externally rotated. Now lift your left foot off the floor, shin bone parallel to the ground, and take this active supine pigeon pose. Rib cage pulled down so the back of it's secure into the mat, having some core engagement as part of this exploration. Bend the left knee quite a bit, release the left foot to the floor. Then unstick your ankle bone from your thigh bone. Go back to neutral with the right leg and put the right foot on the floor. Extend right leg long, hug the left knee in towards you. Practice making a little fist with your foot and then uncurling the fist. Sometimes the fist foot, it can bring about some foot cramps. So if you find that you're cramping, just hold yourself in that extended toes position. And go into extended toes if you're not there. Point and flex. So the toes stay long, whether you're pointing them away from you or you're pulling them back towards your shin, relative to the position of your ankle. Relax that effort and do an interlace behind your right leg. And now it's the inhale to send it up. So an active extension of the knee. Exhale, let gravity do its thing. Let the lower leg fall. So the elongation of the limb is quite active. Quads and hamstrings work together. And the exhale is totally passive. Just kind of letting the lower leg, foot, and ankle drop. Dropping lower leg. Take right hand over to the outside of the left knee crease. Work your fingers in there. Left arm to the side. Pull the left leg across to the right. And secure the leg down towards the floor and then pull it away from you. Make it longer. Work what would be the standing leg, the right leg. So push out through the right heel like there's a floor beneath your right foot. And bring the head to center. Roll the lower body back to center. Release. Bend your right knee. Lift your left foot off the floor. External rotation. Pull the shin bone in. The inner heel pulls towards your right shoulder. And then connect it to the thigh. Hand against the mid thigh, left thigh. Push forward and away. Make some space in that left hip joint. And then really press outer ankle bone into thigh bone. Reach the outer side of that left knee towards the front edge of your yoga mat where your feet are. See if you can minimize the recoil. Let go, hand against thigh, keeping the leg in that super external rotation. Now lift your right foot up, shin bone parallel to the floor. Supine pigeon, doing it all muscularly rather than grabbing and yanking. Release right foot to the ground. Unsuction ankle from thigh, so you're pulling shin bone towards your chest. Then bring that shin, knee, and hip to neutral and place the foot. Crisscross your ankles, hug your knees in, and go into the knee pits. Do a little spinal rocking. So can you round a ton when you do this? So that it feels like you're kind of rolling a wheel. Then rock yourself all the way up to seated, cross-legged. Grip the fronts of your knees. Find vertical through your spine. And then when you inhale, create a seated cow. So pull the rib cage forward by drawing your armpits back. Lift up through the chin and the chest. When you exhale, fall back into your arms, right? So the spine goes back like it's in a hammock. Turn inward, bring your chin down to your chest. Then inhale, curling open. Ride the wave all the way up your spine. And exhale from tailbone, rounding from bottom to top spine, eventually chin tucking to chest. Inhale, seated cow, climb up, up, up. Opening. Exhale from bottom to top. It's tailbone first, then everything rounding above. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to vertical spine. So finding the tall seat. Keep your left leg half cross-legged. Bring your right knee up, your right foot to the floor. And then left hand hooks over the top of your right foot to the outside of it. Right hand goes behind you. Take this revolved heron pose. So push out through the sole of your foot. Shift forward so you're on the middle edge of your sit bones and turn the chest, turn the head back. So if you have tighter IT bands, like that long fascia line on the outside of your hip and leg, this is just glorious for that. As you're pushing out through your right heel, hug your right leg into the midline. Revolve from the belly, then rib cage, chest, and head follow. Inhale, eyes forward. Exhale, bend the knee and release back to cross-legged. Switch to the other side. So it's the righty that'll be cross-legged half. Left knee up. Reach over the top with your right foot or right hand to the left foot. Left hand goes behind, extend. And so you might find yourself back here somewhere. So push forward, lift up. And as you exhale, wrap the navel to the left, rib cage to the left, head and chest to the left. So this long leg isn't just reaching away, it's also squeezing in that it's called adduction, like bringing your legs closer together. Use in-breath, eyes forward. Exhale, unwind and release back to cross-legged. Then come over the fronts of your shins and take tabletop. Work with hands, so fingers spread, all of them pressing. And then knees back, toes tuck, shift forward first, shift back second, downward facing dog pose. Think of someone wrapping their arms around your hips and giving your hips a hug. So they squeeze inward, more towards the center line of your pelvis. And take deep breath all the way in. Exhale, knees bend, eyes look forward. Inhale, pull, right foot, then left foot to the front. Keep inhaling, lift halfway up. And exhale, fold. Magnetize your belly towards your thighs. Let your head hang. Breathe here. Standing forward bend. Hands to the hips. Exhale fully. Root the feet. Inhale. Come all the way up to standing. Releasing the arms. Find Tadasana. Mountain pose. So even distribution of weight on the feet. Stack all of the joints neatly on top of each other. Then close your eyes, draw your hands together in prayer or samastiti, this equal standing position. And before Surya Namaskar, we'll chant the sound of the Om one time. Exhale until you're empty. And take breath all the way in. Release the arms, allow your eyes to open and receive light. Exhale fully like you're breathing out through the soles of your feet. Inhale, raise the arms, lift the eyes, maybe the palms touch. Exhale, fold out, over and down. Inhale, lift halfway and lengthen. Exhale, step back to plank. Keep exhaling, lower down. You may be ready for chaturanga already. Inhale, cobra or upward dog with thigh bones lifted, legs strong. Exhale, fold back, downward facing dog. Imagine someone embracing your hips. The navel draws in and up. The rib cage pulls slightly up, and breathe. And full breath all the way in. Exhaling, crouch low, look forward with your eyes. Inhale, step or jump. Keep inhaling, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, magnetize belly to thigh bones. Inhale, rise up on strong legs, reach the arms. Exhaling, return to your mountain pose. Last one, breathe in, reach. Breathe out, bow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Pause. 4 breaths. 1, hips hug. 2, lowest part of the belly up. 3, rib cage slightly lifted towards sky. 4, weight the outer arms. Deep breath all the way. Exhaling, crouch, look. Inhale, go. Lengthen. Exhale, fold. Belly to thighs, magnets. Inhale, reach all the way to the top. Exhaling and release the arms. Hands to the hips. Step or jump your feet as wide as your hips. Roll the collarbones open. Tailbone down, ribs back. Inhale, lift up through chest and eyes. Exhale, bow forward, grab big toes with index, middle finger. So create the hook, thumbs on the toenail. Inhale, traction, lengthen arms. That'll pull the spine into elongation. Exhale, fold over, belly to thighs, crown of the head releases towards the floor. Standing, hand to big toe, forward fold. Elbows widen towards the sides of the room. And use breath in, lengthen spine. As you exhale, you can release the toe hold, fingertips to the floor. Heel toe your feet in so they're truly at your hips distance. And then step left leg way back towards lunging. Lower the left knee onto the floor. Bring both hands right thigh. And then here's where you want a yoga block. Take a block and put it right outside of your right hip and stand it up tall to start. Once you have that, place your right hand on it. And if you find when you put your hand on it, you have a serious bend in your elbow, then you might need to go a little lower with that. So right hand on block beside hip, left arm to sky, palm facing in. Take breath in. Exhale, side bend over to the right. So like crescent the spine up and over to the right. Breathe hefty into the left side of your rib cage. Come back through vertical, so releasing the side bend, release the left arm. Both hands onto right thigh. Now back out of your lunge, so your front shin is absolutely vertical and your back thigh is vertical. Squeeze your hips in, so that idea of embracing the muscles around the bones. Bring your hands behind your head, elbows wide, interlace them. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, rotate navel and everything above navel to the right. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, do it again. What I'd like you to notice is when you twist, is your right hip sticking out? Is it kicking out? So right hip hugs in. We support the lower part of the spine, the sacrum, and exhale, turn from the higher parts of your spine. One more. Come all the way back to center. Release, touch the floor. Move the block to the left because we'll need it. Lift your back knee up. Put a little bit of bounce in your hips, like elasticity. And then recoil. Left leg forward, right leg back. Excellent. Everyone just, I love watching the screens jump. Lower the right knee down to the ground. Stand the block up beside your left hip. If you know you started on medium with the right side, you could probably do that here. And press left hand into it. Right arm to sky, palm in. And find side bend, crescent up and over. So think of, I'm not reaching from like my waist. I'm reaching from the front of the right hip up and over to the side. Come back to vertical. Release both hands to left thigh. Pull back, so we're backing out to create a 90-degree front leg, 90-degree back leg. Left hip squeezes in, so think of total pelvic stability. Hands behind the head, interlace, elbows wide. Take a breath in. Exhale, turn from the belly and everything above it to the left. Follow your breath rhythm. Inhale back to center. Left hip, hold into position. Exhale, twist. 2 more. So can you feel how when you exhale, the whole rib cage gets narrow and it helps to contract the muscles necessary to turn? Last one. Come all the way back. Release the hands. Shift your block off to the side. Lift your back knee, downward dog step. You can stay put in your down dog, or if you'd like to flow through vinyasa, inhale, plank. Exhale, lowering knees first, or chaturanga, hovering. Inhaling, cobra or up dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. From down dog, deep breath all the way. Exhale, crouch and look forward. Inhale, bring your feet forward. Keep inhaling, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Belly magnetized to thighs. Press into the legs and feet. Inhale, reach all the way up. And exhaling, release the arms. If your feet are quite narrow in your mountain, open them to hips distance, so true hips distance. And bring your hands, and turn forward for this one, bring your hands together in prayer. Build standing pigeon slowly. Start with putting weight into the left leg. Raise the right knee up. Shift the shin bone in as parallel to the floor as you can get it, as high up away from the floor as you can get it. Then connect ankle to thigh. Then push knee and thigh into the side plane. Now add the seat, sitting back. So as your chest goes forward, the hips reach back and there's a deep crease of the hips. Now you could stay here, or you can bring belly against or chest against that crossed over shin, fingertips to the floor, head hanging. Keep working right thigh bone down towards the ground, outer right knee down towards the ground. Bring your hands back to prayer if your fingertips are grounded. Slowly rise up. Keep the ankle crossed over. Then disconnect it. Knee up towards the chest. And place the foot. Heel toe your feet in close together. Bend your knees, raise your arms, chair pose. Negate a slope in the back by drawing the front ribs in and the hips, they're squeezing in towards one another. Lean a little bit farther forward so the trunk becomes more parallel to the ground. Bring your hands to prayer. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist to the right. Latch the left arm somewhere outside of the right thigh. Then shift a ton of weight into your right shin, right foot. And can you lift the left foot, extend the leg back towards revolved lunge. Now you could stay there with elbow hooked to knee, hands in prayer, or release your left arm across to the outside of your right leg and go right arm overhead, long by the ear, revolved side angle pose. Whether hands in prayer or cross the line of your body, unwind from your twist, touch ground. Straighten the front leg enough that you can step your back leg in closer by 6 inches, spinning the heel in and down, and setting up the lower body in pyramid. Then take hands to hips and come all the way up to standing. So notice the position of the spine when you're prepping for pyramid. Do a little bit of standing cow and cat. Reach your arms to the side. As you inhale, go into big time cow. And then as you exhale, gather your hands together, arms together, chin to chest, big time cat. Do a few standing up. Then please find the middle way, right? So you're not in big time cow and you're not in big time cat. You're neutral. Find that. So it's like mountain pose through the spine. And then reach back, reverse prayer, or hold opposite elbows. So if you're unsure of how to get into reverse prayer, reach your arms behind you, touch your fingertips together, and then flip your fingertips up. Walk your hands a little closer. You can wiggle your hands side to side up the back to meet the palms. Check in. Are you in big time cow? Get out of it. Neutral. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bow. As you're folding, can you turn the left side of your rib cage more towards the leg? So it might feel like you're twisting a little, but really we're looking for folding along the right leg. Strong outer hips inform pressing the feet. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Release the arms. And then go right hand to hip, left arm to sky. Full breath in. Exhale, reach forward, touch your hand to left hand to the right ankle. brace against it. Inhale, lengthen, chest forward, crown of head forward. Exhale, turn everything above your navel to the right. Reach the right arm. So revolved triangle, but we're bracing that bottom leg with the hand. How are the hips? Did they kick out, especially the right one? Sit bones towards each other. A soft unwind. Bend your front knee. Walk your hands forward. Standing split. Left leg parallel to the floor. You can play here, crown of head reaching away from left heel. So you're half lifted in standing split. Or you could revolve half moon. So left fingertips go to the floor. Right hand goes to the hip. Inhale, reach crown away from left heel. Exhale, turn everything above the belly to the right. Right arm to sky. Oh my gosh, this pose is such a doozy. Breathe. Release, unwind. Release left leg parallel to right. Ragdoll. Forward fold. Hang and breathe. Hands to hips, exhale. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Place the weight into your right leg, bring your hands together in prayer. And lift up through the left knee. Bring the shin bone internal, so the heel kicks into the middle, the thigh rolls out. Connect foot to leg. Push the knee, thigh, and hip into the side plane. Begin to add your sit back. And you can hinge into like a bench type position, so not sitting super deep. Or you lay chest against front shin, fingertips to the floor, head hangs. And this is one of the poses when you get folded over where the hip really does do the kick. So that right hip in and back. If you're in hands to prayer, stay. If you're not, lift your hands to prayer. Stand up on this right leg. Unstick the ankle bone. Bring the knee up towards the chest and then land the foot. So we back out as slow as we went in. Heel toe the feet in close. Bend the knees, reach the arms. Utkatasana, chair pose. Take the deep sway out of the low back. Start to lay it forward, get more parallel. Hands together in prayer. Take a breath in. Exhale, hook right elbow outside of the left knee. Now, no surprises. You know it's coming. Weight the left leg, left hip, left shin, left foot, and extend the right leg back. Situate your lunge, make it long enough. You can stay here, hands in prayer, or cross the body, right hand to ground, outside of left shin, left arm overhead. Hands to prayer if they're not. Unwind your twist, touch ground. Straighten the front leg enough to step the back foot in 6 inches or so. Spin right heel in and down. Hands to hips, press feet, squeeze hips, come all the way up to standing. Go back to cow-cat, except this time arms up and arms behind you. So when you inhale, arch, and when you exhale, Push the arms back, chin to chest. So a different shoulder movement pattern. Find the middle path. Let the arms release by your side, more like mountain. And take either opposite elbows or reversing the prayer. Once you have your hands situated, check in that you didn't go into cow when you did that. You're staying more Tadasana quality in the trunk. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pour forward. Take the right ribs just a hair to the left as you fold. Inner feet, outer hips strong. Exhale everything while you're folded. Use the lightness of inhale to lift you all the way back up. Release the arms. Left hand to hip, right arm up. Take breath in. Exhale, reach forward and then across, right hand braces, left ankle. Inhale, extend from crown to tail. Exhale, turn the belly and everything above it to the left, left arm to sky. Did the left hip kick? Right. Work with that, in and back. Release, unwind, bend the left knee, walk the hands forward, arms forward. Stand up on left leg, right leg parallel to ground. Think of a level pelvis, something you could rest a cup of liquid upon. Stay exploring, crown reaching away from heel. Or revolved half moon, right fingertips stay grounded, left hand goes to hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn everything above the belly to the left, left arm to the sky. Release your left hand. Release your right leg. Ragdoll, breathe. You can make it static, you can make it sway, you can lean forward and lean back, you can lean side to side. And then last vinyasa, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step or float back. Breathe in, stretch the front of you long and open. And breathe out, hips go back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in your down dog. Exhale, crouch, look forward. Inhale, legs through to seated. You can step, jump, walk, or crawl. Come to legs out in front of you, setting up Paschimottanasana. And then let's take staff for just a moment. So hands beside the hips, push the ground, reach up through the crown, draw the rib cage back as if there's a wall behind you. You're going to tap the back side of your rib cage into. Chin down. Watch the rise and fall of breath. Chin parallel to the floor. Keep the spine just like it is and slowly raise the arms. So you go slow enough that it doesn't disrupt your vertical spine. Take breath in, find a little up, like your rib cage is lifted off your pelvis. Exhale, bow. Take hold of what is reachable to you. And then little undulations. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Do a couple more. They could be microscopic. This belly magnetized towards thigh position. And you'll reach your point where you just then stay and enjoy. Use breath in, elongate. Exhale and come all the way up. Without grabbing and dragging, step your right foot in. So your knees pointing up to the ceiling. And then flip your shin bone down. You could do that manually so that you have the top of the foot on the floor and the heel is just outside of your hip. So we will be folding forward. If you're completely off kilter and your right sit bone is nowhere near the floor, this is a great place to stick a block underneath your sitting bones to give yourself a little raise up away from the ground. Now find Dandasana. Right? So you can go, if you're on block, you might need to do fingertips, right? Work with the ribs pulling back to the imaginary wall. Crown of the head reaching up. Bring the chin down. Watch yourself breathe a couple times. Then chin parallel to floor. So you're lifting up through the cervical spine, crown of head, top of ears. Slowly reach your arms without disrupting the vertical spine. Take breath in. Can you find that lift of the rib cage up away from the top rim of your pelvis? And exhale, fold towards the straight leg. Maybe little undulations here to help you to deepen. And this can be an unfamiliar pose to people. It's one that's practiced in Ashtanga quite a bit, but not in most vinyasa classes. So feel free to just fold and survive, right? You don't need to undulate. Use breath in, lengthen, and exhale, come all the way up. Keep your right leg as it is. Bend your left knee so the sole of the foot is grounded. Remember that twisted pose we had with the long leg in the beginning? Let's try it here with a new position of the right leg. So we were half cross-legged. We're going to stick with this folded under leg. Take your right hand to the outside edge over the top of the foot to the pinky toe side of your left foot. And then left hand behind you, sit up tall. Then begin extending, and you might be here with a 90-degree bend of the left leg. Or push out through the sole of the foot, hug the hip in, find vertical, and turn from the belly. Everything above the navel turns to the left. Use in-breath, eyes forward. And as you exhale, bend the knee and release the sole of the foot to the ground. Unwind, extend the left leg long, unflip your right shin, and extend your right leg long. Without grabbing, bend the left knee, bring it back so the hip strength pulls the leg in, then flip your shin bone down. Adjust yourself so sitting bones are on ground or are on the block. Hands beside the hips or fingertips. Create staff. So if you look down, that'll do the same thing as pulling your rib cage into the imaginary back wall. But when you look down, then can you find a great lift, push the hands, and then just the chin drops as we take the head forward to watch ourselves breathe. Then just moving your head and your neck, spine, chin parallel to the floor. slowly raising the arms without going into a back bend. Take breath in, find straight up, like north, and exhale, fold towards the straight leg. And use breath in, lengthen. Exhaling, come all the way back up to vertical. Keep your left leg exactly as it is, bend your right knee. Reach your left hand across to pinky toe side of right foot. Right hand goes behind you for support. Find vertical, then extend either 90 or a high diagonal leg. Breath in. Exhale, turn from the belly and everything above it to the right. Right hip stays held in tightly to support your pelvis in this position. In breath, eyes forward. Exhale, bend your left knee and release. Extend the right leg long, unflip the left shin, extend that one long. Shake out a bit. And then 2 variations of Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Go hands behind you, so you brace that lift of your spine. And then bring your knees like high up towards your chest or high up towards your arms. And then, so you squeezed in, right, to gather your legs together. Now I want you to push out and down and spread the legs farther away from each other. See if the feet peel apart when you do that. So you can stay here and explore Baddha Konasana like this, really working the hips with the support of the fingertips into the floor, or you come forward and hold on to the feet, thumbs against the inner foot, like in the sole. Inhale, exhale, hinge. So work this first one with like more of a flat back than a rounded back, because we're going to do the rounded one next. And oftentimes we reach from the chest, right? When we're coming forward in this one, I want you to reach from your lumbar forward. So it happens from way down low in your spine. Use your next inhale to milk a little bit more length, and then exhale, come back to vertical. Now, rounding like crazy, take a breath in. And when you exhale, tailbone under first, belly hollows back second, rib cage pulls back, shoulders come over and down, forehead comes over and down. So you turn yourself into a tiny little seed. And the dome of the back is like, it's like a turtle shell. No need to lengthen, just take a big breath into your turtle shell, your back. And then when you exhale, unwind and roll up. Zip the legs together, see that you have space, and if you don't, scoot forward and slowly roll down onto the spine. Keep your knees bent, arms along the sides of you to start. Heel toe your right foot so it's to the outer edge of your yoga mat. And keep your left foot in alignment, or left foot in alignment with the hip, so that one's not heel-toed wide. And then practice this. When you inhale, pivot your right knee in and slide your right arm out and up. And when you exhale, come back to where you started. So the arm is long by the side and the knee is pointing up to the ceiling. Inhale, reach the arm, big internal rotation with just your right leg. Exhale, come back. So it's an interesting somatic experience to try to time the arm and the leg, because the leg is moving like in a little shallower range than the arm. But you can think of snow angel with right arm. Internal rotation of hip with right leg. Kind of like a half windshield wiper with the leg. One more time. Breathe in, spin it in, reach out and up. And breathe out, come back. Step your right foot in to hips distance. Heel toe your lefty out to the outer edge of your mat. As you breathe in, left knee dips in, right arm reaches up and over. As you exhale, sliding the arm back along the side, knee pointing back to sky. Coordinate breath and movement. Do 3 more. It's the inhale that's reaching arm and dipping leg inward. And the exhale that brings you back to where you began. Last one. Heel toe the foot in. And then build happy baby, but actively. So usually it's grab the feet and yank. Secure your rib cage into the floor. Use the hip flexors to pull your knees into you. Extend the knee joints a bit. Reach the arms. Hold yourself without grabbing your feet. Just hold yourself in the general shape and form of this. And pretend you're holding your feet. Drive your knees down towards the ground. Then do grab and get more passive. So then you give a little tug on the outsides of the feet to get the hips into that deeper set position. You could go side to side or you could stay centered. Just create an experience of this for you. And finding the center once again, draw the soles of the feet towards each other. And then stretch long. Come into Shavasana. So you might feel like you want to use some props for your Shavasana. Feel free to take them and stick them underneath your knees, or if you need a pillow for your head. But do come to a comfortable resting position. And then allow your eyes to softly close. And as you close your eyes, think of the eyes going into their sockets, but the sockets themselves grow wider to receive the eyes. Invite now a deepening of the breath. So in the deepening of the breath, this like reinvigorating of the system. And find small and soft movements at fingers and then toes. And then stretch your arms high and wide and legs low and wide. Take up space. Bend one knee and then the other. Roll onto your side. Rest your head in your arm. And then take a big breath into your back so that space fills out. And press down into the ground with your free hand. Lift yourself up to seated. Join hands together in this gesture of gratitude and offering. And we'll chant the sound of the Om one time. Exhale fully. And take breath all the way in. And may the merits of the practice that we've done here today benefit all beings everywhere. Namaste.